Hi everyone, I am Santi Priya from Department of Mathematics and Statistics, Bhavans Vivekananda College. I am here with my lesson 30 of linear algebra on eigenvalues, eigenvectors and diagonalization. In this lesson, I am going to explain the following 2 points. First one, characteristic equation, characteristic values or eigenvalues. And the second point is similar matrices and their characteristic equation and characteristic values. Let us first look at the definition of characteristic polynomial and characteristic equation. Let A be any square matrix, then characteristic polynomial of matrix A is nothing but det of A minus lambda I, or you can write it is determinant the same. How do we denote the determinant? So if you take the matrix A minus lambda I, A minus lambda into I is the unity matrix of the same order as A, then if you calculate its determinant, then this determinant will be a polynomial which we call it as characteristic polynomial of the matrix A. And then characteristic equation of A is nothing but det A minus lambda I is equal to 0. So the same characteristic polynomial equated to 0, we will be getting the characteristic equation where lambda is an eigenvalue or characteristic value of A. So the lambda whatever we are using in this polynomial or equation is an eigenvalue or characteristic value of A. Now let us look at some note points. First point number 1. A scalar lambda is an eigenvalue of a square matrix A if and only if characteristic equation is satisfied by lambda. So whatever the characteristic equation we get, that should be satisfied by lambda. Then you call that lambda to be an eigenvalue or a characteristic value. Then second point. The characteristic values of a square matrix are zeros of the polynomial, that is det A minus lambda I, or solutions of the characteristic equation det A minus lambda I is equal to 0. So it is the other way of expressing characteristic about the characteristic polynomial. If you take a matrix A, then consider characteristic polynomial det of A minus lambda I. Then characteristic values of A are nothing but zeros of the polynomial, or they are the solutions of the characteristic equation that A minus lambda is equal to 0. Hence, to find the characteristic or eigenvalues, we have to solve the characteristic equation. So, earlier you were given some scalars and you were checking whether they are characteristic values or not. Now we are going to solve the characteristic equation and find the characteristic values or eigenvalues. So, and the next point is, if an eigenvalue lambda is repeated k number of times, then we call this k as multiplicity of lambda. That means when you find the characteristic values, some values may get repeated one time or some values may get repeated two times, like that. Then you call that how many number of times it is repeated, then that is the that number of times is called the multiplicity of the characteristic value. Now let us look at the example where we have to find the characteristic polynomial and the corresponding real eigenvalues. So this is a question: find the characteristic polynomial and the real eigenvalues of the following matrix. So let us look at the solution. So here A is given a 3 by 3 matrix. So first we have to find the characteristic polynomial. So the characteristic, I'll write it as CH. Characteristic polynomial of A is det A minus lambda I. This is characteristic polynomial. So for this, let us first find what is A minus lambda I. So A minus lambda is nothing but matrix A 311,050 minus 207 minus lambda into, this is since 3 by 3 matrix, take a 3 by 3 identity matrix lambda into I 010001. Finally it gives you nothing. If you subtract also, it will give you 3 minus lambda 1 1. 0, 5 minus lambda, 0, minus 2, 0, 7 minus lambda. So this is nothing but in the matrix A, you just subtract in the diagonal elements place lambda. That will give you the characteristic polynomial. So now what is det A minus lambda I then? Determinant of this det A minus lambda I det 3 minus lambda 1, 1, 0, 5 minus lambda, 0, minus 2, 0, 7 minus lambda. So expand this determinant, it is equal to first 3 minus lambda into, so expanding by first row, 3 minus lambda into 5 minus lambda into 7 minus lambda minus 0, then minus 1 into, this is minus 1 into 0 into 7 minus lambda minus 0 into minus 2, and then plus 1 into 0 into 0 minus 2 into 5 minus lambda. So this is equal to 3 minus lambda into, so this is 5 minus lambda into 7 minus lambda. I will write it as it is. If we need, we can multiply. Otherwise, keep them as factors. And this will be minus 1 into 0. And the next one will be 1 into minus of minus plus. So it will be 1 into 2 into 5 minus lambda. Right. So this will be equal to 3 minus lambda into 5 minus lambda into 7 minus lambda plus 2 into 5 minus lambda. So always we should try to factorize, because even we have to find the eigenvalues. So this will be equal to, I can take 5 minus lambda common. So it will be 3 minus lambda into 7 minus lambda plus 2. So this will be 5 minus lambda into, so 21 minus 3 lambda minus 7 lambda plus lambda square plus 2. This is equal to 5 minus lambda into, so it is lambda square minus 10 lambda plus 23. So then what is the characteristic polynomial? This, let me give it 1. We will use it to find eigenvalues. Therefore, characteristic polynomial is, multiply these two, then you will get the characteristic polynomial. 5 lambda square minus 50 lambda plus 115 minus lambda cube plus 10 lambda square minus 23 lambda, that is equal to, so I can write it as minus lambda cube and then plus 15 lambda square minus 73 lambda plus 115. So this is minus lambda cube and then 10 lambda square plus 5 lambda square, 15 lambda square, and minus 50 lambda minus 23 lambda minus 73 lambda plus 115. This is characteristic polynomial. 2 is characteristic polynomial. Now to find the characteristic values. To find the characteristic values, or I can say they are called as eigenvalues, and it is specially asked as real eigenvalues of A. So what are characteristic or eigenvalues? The characteristic or eigenvalues are solutions of the characteristic equation. So what is the characteristic equation now? I will here, you see, you can observe you have two. One is equation polynomial 1, another one is 2. Now you have to, which one will you take? Both are the same, but the first one is in the factorized form and the second one is not in the factorized form. Now here you have to find the solutions of the equation. What is the characteristic equation? Means det A minus lambda I is equal to 0. So I will consider 1 implies because it is in the factorized form. So 2 means again you need to factorize. So this will be 5 minus lambda into lambda square minus 10 lambda plus 23 is equal to 0. That implies I have 5 minus lambda is equal to 0, or another one is lambda square minus 10 lambda plus 23 is equal to 0. Now 5 minus lambda is equal to 0 implies lambda is equal to 5, and then lambda square minus 10 lambda plus 23 is equal to 0. This you have to factorize using the because it can't be split. Here you have a prime number 23. You can't split this and factorize. Only the thing I can find the roots solutions. Lambda is equal to plus or minus, so this formula will use minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. This formula will use. So this is 10 plus or minus square root of b square is 100 minus 4 into a is equal to 1 and c is equal to 23 by 2 into 1. So this will be equal to 10 plus or minus square root of 100. This is you have here 100 minus 96, not 96, 80, 1292. So 100 minus 92 by 2. So this is equal to 10 plus or minus under root 8 by 2, which is equal to, I can say this is 2 into 5 plus or minus root 2 by 2. So you have here implies lambda is equal to 5 plus root 2, 5 minus root 2. So therefore what are the eigenvalues? The characteristic or eigenvalues of A are 5, 5 plus root 2, comma 5 minus root 2. This is the way how to find characteristic polynomial and characteristic values or eigenvalues of a given matrix. Let us look at the next example. For the given matrix, list the real eigenvalues with their multiplicity and also write its characteristic equation, and this matrix is given as A is equal to 5, 5, 0, 2, 0, 2, minus 3, 6, and 0, 0, 3, minus 2, 0, 0, 0, 5. So let me adjust this little bit. 0, 0, this is minus 3. So this is the matrix. Now let us look at the solution. If you observe, the given matrix is a triangular matrix, because how do you identify a triangular matrix? If you highlight the principal diagonal elements, that is, let me just highlight the principal diagonal element above or below the principal diagonal. If all the elements above or below the principal diagonal are zeros, here you can observe below the principal diagonal all these elements are zeros. So you can say that this is a triangular matrix, upper triangular matrix. So here I will write here A is an upper triangular matrix. What is the use if it is an upper triangular matrix? Actually, we can find eigenvalues or characteristic values in different ways. Before learning about the characteristic equation, we learnt for a if a matrix is a triangular matrix, then we learnt that its eigenvalues are nothing but the elements in the principal diagonal. Otherwise, the general thing is just finding taking the characteristic polynomial or equation and solving it for solutions. You will get the solutions of the characteristic equations as eigenvalues. Here, since it is an upper triangular matrix, so we can say here implies eigenvalues of A are the elements in its principal diagonal. What are the principal diagonal elements? That is 5, 2, 3, 5 are eigenvalues of A. So we didn't calculate anything like characteristic equation or polynomial, but we have just, since it is an upper triangular matrix, we have written the directly the principal diagonal elements are characteristic values. Now something else is also given. Find the eigenvalues with their multiplicity. Now what do we mean by multiplicity of an eigenvalue? How many times it is repeated? So here let us take first lambda is equal to 5 repeated twice, therefore multiplicity is equal to 2. Now next eigenvalue lambda is equal to 2. How many times it is repeated? Only 1. Therefore you will say multiplicity of 2 is equal to 1, and similarly lambda is equal to 3 also, it is the same, multiplicity of 3 is also equal to 1. So here therefore we can say that the distinct eigenvalues of A are 5, 2, 3. Right. Now next we have to find the characteristic polynomial. Characteristic polynomial or equation. What is it as? Polynomial. How do we find a characteristic polynomial? No need from even the matrix det A minus lambda. We don't need to take. We can write like this. Characteristic polynomial is, I can say, lambda minus 5 whole square into lambda minus 2 into lambda minus 3, because characteristic values are nothing but solutions of the characteristic equation. Now you got the solutions. What is the equation having these as roots? So what is the reason I will give here? Since characteristic values are zeros of the characteristic polynomial. So this, if I simplify this about the characteristic, implies characteristic polynomial is, multiply this is lambda square minus 10 lambda plus 25 into lambda minus 2 into lambda minus 3. So that implies, I can say, lambda square minus 10 lambda plus 25 into lambda square minus 3 lambda minus 2 lambda plus 6. This is equal to, so lambda square minus 10 lambda plus 25 into lambda square minus 5 lambda plus 6. So multiply this, lambda power 4 minus 5 lambda cube plus 6 lambda square minus 10 lambda cube plus 50 lambda square minus 60 lambda plus 25 lambda square minus 125 lambda plus 150. So this, if you simplify, you will get lambda power 4 and then minus lambda 5 lambda minus 10 lambda cube. So it is minus 15 lambda cube, and their square terms 25 lambda square, 50 lambda square, 75 plus 6, 81 lambda square. Then lambda terms are minus 60 plus 125 minus 185 lambda, and then plus constant 150. This is the characteristic polynomial. So here we didn't solve any delta A minus lambda I. Since we know the characteristic values, from there we got the characteristic polynomial. Hence, characteristic equation is lambda power 4 minus 15 lambda cube plus 81 lambda square lambda square minus 185 lambda plus 150 is equal to 0. Are some practice problems for you. First one is find the characteristic polynomial and the real eigenvalues of the following matrices. 2 by 2 matrices are given in the first question. And the second question, find the characteristic polynomial of the matrix. Only polynomial. No need for the other eigenvalues or characteristic values. Now we'll prove a theorem which is relating to eigenvectors and eigenvalues. Let us go through the statement. If v1, v2, v3 and so on vn are eigenvectors that correspond to distinct eigenvalues lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 and so on lambda n of an n by n matrix A, then the set containing these n vectors v1, v2, v3 and so on vn is linearly independent. Now let us look at the theorem statement once again. There are eigenvectors given v1, v2, v3 and so on, vn, fine. And there is some word called as distinct eigenvalues. What do you mean by this? Suppose I have a matrix A which is of order 3 by 3 and it has eigenvalues 1, 2, where 2 is repeated twice. Okay, then its corresponding eigenvectors I have, this is x1, x2, x3. I have 3 eigenvectors where I can say for 1, x1 is the eigenvector. For 2, since it is repeated twice, it is not, need not be always the same. It has 2 eigenvectors x2, x3. Right, then what do you, can you say there are 3 eigenvectors, there are 3 eigenvalues, fine. But what about these eigenvalues? They are not distinct. 2 is repeated twice. This is not called as distinct eigenvectors because here you have only 2 eigenvalues, but you have here 3 eigenvectors. So this theorem statement is not related to this type of problems. Let me give you the example where this theorem can be applied. Clear the screen. So I'll take again the same A 3 by 3 matrix. A 3 by 3 matrix. It has 3 eigenvalues 1, 2, 3. And it has 3 eigenvectors for 1 x1, for 2 x2 and for 3 x3. Now you can observe the 3 eigenvalues are distinct. Nothing is repeated. Then these vectors x1, x2, x3 are corresponding to distinct eigenvalues. So at the theorem here it says that if you have such, then these x1, x2, x3 vectors x1, x2, x3 vectors will be linearly independent. So this theorem applies here where you have eigenvectors of distinct eigenvalues. That is important word here. Now the alternate statement for the same theorem prove that distinct eigenvectors corresponding to distinct eigenvalues are linearly independent. Let us go through the proof. Let A be an n by n matrix and let V1, V2, V3 and so on, V3 and so on, Vp plus 1 and so on, Vn be distinct eigenvectors corresponding to the distinct eigenvalues lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 and so on, lambda p plus 1 and so on, lambda n. Here we mean that V1 is the eigenvector of lambda 1, V2 is the eigenvector of lambda 2. V3 is eigenvector of lambda 3 and so on. That is what we mean by corresponding. Now to prove that these eigenvectors are linearly independent. Anytime if you have to prove linearly independent, we'll take its contradiction. So that is a assumption we are going to take. If possible, let us suppose that they are linearly dependent. Then earlier we learnt about the linearly independent sets, linearly dependent sets. So by a known result, there exists a vector which is a linear combination of its preceding vectors. That is a consequence of linearly dependent vectors. If some set of vectors are linearly dependent, then there must be some vector among them which is a linear combination of its preceding vectors. So let us suppose that P is the least index for which Vp plus 1 is a linear combination of its preceding vectors V1, V2, V3 and so on Vp. So among these n vectors, n eigenvectors what we have here, let us suppose that Vp plus 1 is a linear combination of its preceding vectors. Since P is the least index for which Vp plus 1 is a linear combination of its preceding vectors V1, V2, V3 and so on Vp, then we can note down here that up to Vp, that is V1, V2, V3 and so on Vp will be linearly independent. This will be using further in the next one. Now we have here that Vp plus 1 is a linear combination of its preceding vectors, implies there exist scalars C1, C2, C3 and so on Cp such that Vp plus 1 is equal to C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus and so on plus Cp Vp. Let us take it as equation 2. Now multiply both the sides with matrix A. Then A into the LHS is equal to A into Vp plus 1. Now on the LHS, like multiply this A with each term, A into C1 V1 plus A into C2 V2 plus and so on plus A into Cp Vp is equal to A into Vp plus 1. Which implies, now here if you observe A into C1 V1, A is a matrix, C1 is a scalar, V1 is a column vector. So anytime if you are multiplying these different types of elements, any scalar you can bring it out. So bring out scalar C1 into AV1 plus similarly C2 into AV2 plus and so on plus Cp into AVP is equal to A into Vp plus 1, which implies C1 into, now what is AV1? Lambda 1 V1. Why? V1 is eigenvector, lambda 1 is eigenvalue, implies what is the definition says? A V1 is equal to lambda V1. That you apply. So wherever you have A V1, you will write lambda 1 V1 and A V2 means lambda 2 V2. A Vp means lambda P Vp is equal to this. So here I have written after equation 3, since V1, V2, V3 and so on, Vn are eigenvectors of corresponding to the distinct eigenvalues IV lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 and so on lambda n, we have A V1 is equal to lambda 1 V1, A V2 is equal to lambda 2 V2 and so on A Vp is equal to lambda P Vp. Now solving equations 2 and 3, like how the multiply equation 2 with lambda P plus 1 and then subtract 3 from it. So I am writing here the equation, this is equation 2. No, this is equation 2 and this is equation, this is equation 3, second one. And the first one is lambda p plus 1, which is multiplied with equation 2. Then you can observe these are the two equations what I have written, where in equation 2 each term is multiplied with lambda p plus 1. So that this left hand side of both equations get cancelled. This becomes 0. Now you can see here a first term in the first equation, second term, they have some similar terms. So if you subtract, you will get this one. So in these two, right, if you observe this first term and this first term here, let me take another color. Yeah, now it will be clear. So in these two, what is common? Lambda p plus 1 c v1, c1 v1, c1 lambda 1 v1. So we have common c1 v1 common. So if you take c1 here common and v1 here common, what will be remaining? Lambda p plus 1 minus lambda 1. Lambda p plus 1 minus lambda 1. Similarly, in the second term also you have common c2 v2 common. c2 v2 common. c2 v2 you take it common, then you have lambda p plus 1 minus lambda 2. Lambda p plus 1 minus lambda 2. Plus and so on. In the last term on the LHS, you have Cp, Vp common. So Cp is here, and then you have lambda p plus 1, and here lambda p subtracted. So Cp is here, Vp is here, then lambda p plus 1 minus lambda p. That is equal to RHS. Both terms get cancelled. It will be 0. This is equation 4. Now what did you have in equation 4? You have in equation 4 a linear combination of p number of vectors, that is v1, v2 and so on vp. Now if you remember in equation 1 we had something that up to p the vectors are linearly independent. Then if they are linearly independent, if you write the linear combination up to p, the scalars, corresponding scalars must be zeros. So that's what we have written next. Since v1, v2, v3 and so on vp are linearly independent from equation 1 that we quoted there, we have the above scalars in the above equation 4. What are the scalars? What is the scalar corresponding to v1? c1 into lambda p plus 1 minus lambda 1. That should be 0. The scalar corresponding to v2, c2 into lambda p plus 1 minus lambda 2. C2 into lambda p plus 1 minus lambda 2 is equal to 0, and so on. The scalar corresponding to the vector Vp, that is Cp into lambda p plus 1 minus lambda p is equal to 0. All these scalars should be 0 because up to p the vectors are linearly independent, which implies. Now you have here, if you observe in this equation, this where I am highlighting, you have product of two terms. One is C1, the other one is lambda p plus 1 minus lambda 1. The product of two terms is 0 means either any one of the term must be 0. Implies C1 is equal to 0 or lambda p plus 1 minus lambda 1 0. Similarly, from the second, C2 is equal to 0 or lambda p plus 1 minus lambda 2 is equal to 0. And so on. The last one, Cp is equal to 0 or lambda p plus 1 minus lambda p is equal to 0, which implies I can give two equations. First equation, C1 0, C2 0 and so on Cp 0 or lambda p plus 1 minus lambda 1 0, lambda p plus 1 minus lambda 2 0 and so on lambda p plus 1 minus lambda p 0. So either 5 should be possible or 6 should be possible. But if we look at equation 6, 6 implies that is, if lambda p plus 1 minus lambda 1 is equal to 0, then lambda p plus 1 will be equal to lambda 1. Similarly, lambda p plus 1 minus lambda 2 0 means lambda p plus 1 will be equal to lambda, lambda p plus 1 will be equal to lambda 2 and so on. When lambda p plus 1 minus lambda p is equal to 0, then you will have lambda p plus 1 is equal to lambda p, which implies I have lambda p plus 1 is equal to lambda 1 is equal to lambda 2 and so on, which is equal to lambda p. Then what are you getting? All the eigenvalues lambda p plus 1 till lambda p plus 1. lambda 1 is equal to lambda 2 is equal to lambda and so on is equal to lambda p and lambda p plus 1. They are all equal. Is it possible? What did we suppose in the theorem? All the eigenvalues are distinct. They are distinct. That means there are no repetitions in the eigenvalues. If there are no repetitions in the eigenvalues, how can we get lambda p plus 1 is equal to all the other so many eigenvalues? So this is a contradiction. So why are we getting this contradiction? Because you suppose that 6 is true. So 6 cannot be true. 6 cannot be. Then what must be true? 5 must be true. What is there in 5? You have C10, C20 and so on. Cp is equal to 0. Now take this up to this C10, C20 and so on. Cp0, substitute in equation 2 where you have a linear combination there. You can check equation 2. So substitute, you will get 0 into V1 plus 0 into V2 plus and so on. 0 into Vp is equal to Vp plus 1, which implies you will get Vp plus 1 is equal to 0. That means an eigenvector is equal to 0, which is not possible since an eigenvector cannot be 0. Now this is also a contradiction. Why are you getting this contradiction? That you supposed that the eigenvectors are linearly dependent. This must be wrong. And what must be right? Implies the eigenvectors are linearly independent. That is what the distinct eigenvectors corresponding to the distinct eigenvalues are linearly independent. Let us define now similar matrices. What do we mean by similar matrices? Two matrices A and B are said to be similar if there exists an invertible matrix P, another matrix P, such that P inverse into A, P is equal to B, or P inverse into B into P is equal to A. So any two matrices A and B, we call them as similar. So here similar doesn't mean that equal. So they are said to be similar if there exists an invertible matrix P such that P inverse AP, the product of P inverse A and P. Why? How could you get P inverse? Because you have taken invertible matrix P. So such that P inverse AP is equal to B or P inverse BP is equal to A. Let us look at a theorem which gives us information about characteristic polynomial and hence the characteristic values or eigenvalues of two matrices, two similar matrices are equal. So the statement is if two matrices A and B are similar, then they have the same characteristic polynomial and hence the same eigenvalues. Let us look at the proof. So let A and B be any two similar matrices. Now what does the definition say according to similar matrices definition? Then we have two things. One is either P inverse AP is equal to B or P inverse BP is equal to A. So here I have taken the first one, that P inverse AP is equal to B. So that is what we have written. I have written here B is equal to P inverse P, P inverse A into P, where P is an invertible matrix. Now what do we have to prove? We have to prove that characteristic polynomial of B, the matrix B, is equal to characteristic polynomial of the matrix A. Now, what is characteristic polynomial? Det of characteristic polynomial of B, det B minus lambda I is equal to. What is characteristic polynomial of A? Det A minus lambda I. So, according to this, we must have det B minus lambda I is equal to det B minus A minus lambda I for a scalar lambda. For this, let us consider B minus lambda I. Now, what do you have for B? B is nothing but P inverse A into P and lambda, and in place of I have written P inverse into P. So, here the reason is since P inverse P is equal to I. The reason is that. So that is equal to P inverse into, now in these two I can take P inverse common in these two. So P inverse, if you take common here, AP remains, and here lambda into P remains. So it is P inverse into AP minus lambda P, which is equal to, again from these two take P common. So it is P inverse and P if you have taken common. Here A and minus lambda scalar is there, P matrix you have taken common, so I will remain. So A minus lambda I. So this we have simplified B minus lambda I, which implies what is the det B minus lambda I? That is a characteristic polynomial of B. B minus lambda I is equal to. Now what is B here? B is equal to whatever you simplified it, B minus lambda I. So substitute that, det of P inverse into the same, this for the above one, apply determinant. Determinant of P inverse into A minus lambda I into P. Now if you have like this, if you have det AB, it will be equal to det A into det B. So if you apply that condition, this condition, you will have product of three terms, P inverse, A minus lambda I and P. So distribute this, det P inverse, det A minus lambda I and det P. Then implies det P inverse, this is det P, these are all numerical values, determinant for any numerical matrix with numerical values. So det P, I brought it here, det P inverse into det P, associative property, and then det A minus lambda I. Det A minus lambda. Now, det P inverse into P, I will write it as det of P inverse P, and this is into det A minus lambda I. Det P inverse into P is equal to det I, which into det A minus lambda I. What is det I is equal to 1. So this will be equal to det A minus lambda I. So what did you get finally? Det B minus lambda I is equal to det A minus lambda I, that is characteristic polynomial of B is equal to characteristic polynomial of A, that is A and B have both the same characteristic polynomial, hence they will have the same characteristic values also. Now let us look at a few more points about the similar matrices and their eigen values. For this we'll consider few points, 2 points. The first point, the converse of the previous theorem need not be true. What is the previous theorem? If two matrices are similar, then they will have the same eigenvalues. Now what is the converse? If two matrices have the same eigenvalues, then they don't need to be similar. That is what we want to like show by example. So I have taken here two matrices A, which is a 2 by 2 matrix, and you can observe it is an upper triangular matrix, whereas B, if you observe, it is also a 2 by 2 matrix, and it is both upper and lower triangular matrix. You can say it is a diagonal matrix also, and we can observe here that eigenvalues of A are elements in the principal diagonal 2, 2, and eigenvalues of B are also principal diagonal element, that is also 2, 2. But these two matrices are not similar matrices. We can check it by observing. You cannot write them like either A is equal to B, P inverse A, BP, or B is equal to P inverse A. You can observe by other calculations. Then the second point about the similarity of matrices, that is similarity is not equivalence. This usually we know it, and even you can see here, suppose a matrix A, and its echelon form. If you take them, then they both we call them as equivalent, but they need not have the same eigenvalues. Why? Because since row operations on a matrix change its eigenvalues. So you can say that a matrix and its echelon form are equivalent, but they don't need to have the same eigenvalues. Whereas similar matrices will have the same eigenvalues, but equivalent matrices need not have the same eigenvalues.